You know, once in a while, you just come across someone who's just like not with the world, you know. I mean, there's this video I just stumbled upon, it's called a Destini Productions Scam, question mark. Top things to question about Destini Productions. I listened to the first like couple of minutes of it and I just like, oh my word. I mean, this is just like not reasoning, this is not thinking. So let's just have a quick listen and we'll just like comment on the way, just the way, you know, the way that Nick Dutch likes to.
Alright, so why am I so hot on Destini Productions?
He's hot on them. Well, I hope he's got a box of Kleenex at hand.
I even made a note list. This is like the first note list I've ever made for a video. Okay, get
Well, maybe he better think about making some more, okay, so he can get his argument
this.
right.
I am joy. When you live from the heart, life is light. You begin to...
Life is light when you live from the heart. So essentially not using like your brain, your reasoning, your intelligence, your social skills. No, just the heart. Just the heart. Nothing else, just the heart. Just don't think about anything else. No other organ in your body or your entire being actually makes any sense apart from your heart. Just your heart, that's it.
expand the potential of your brain to maintain,
Sorry, the the potential of your brain. This is just like in the first few seconds, okay? Firstly, he's just talking about the heart, nothing else, and then he's talking about the potential of your brain. In what particular way, which particular parts of the brain? The hippocampus, the frontal lobes? The occipital lobe? Which particular parts of the brain are you talking about here? And what do you mean by the potential of the brain? Please make some sense. This is just like not. This is just like not really real. It's interesting, but it's not. You know, I mean, like potential of the brain. Yes, the brain has potential. Yeah. You can start by reading books, you can get an education, you can learn how to think, you can learn how to reason, and if you want to just chill yourself out, you can do some meditation, you can start studying other introspective stuff, which you can use to basically deal with any issues that you've got and start growing and developing from that point. You don't need to be a member of Destini or Destini Productions or the Destini Productions cult to be able to achieve any of those things, do you now? No, you just got to have a brain in your head, which will already have potential.
Aura of joy and love.
Aura of joy and love. Yes. Oh, very sweet sounding, but you know, you're not a
That exists. That is a much more abundant nature than...
Sorry, a more abundant nature, okay? If you're perpetually in this, like, ultra chilled out state of mind, how on earth are you supposed to work for a living and therefore get the abundance that you need to be able to feed yourself, keep a roof over your head, pay your council tax bill, and be able to live, like, in the 21st century and be able to participate within society if you're perpetually in that blissed out state of mind? Come on.
Picking flowers from a beautiful field. Picking flowers may give you energy to get to that joy and love, but if you are...
Okay, so picking flowers will give you energy. Tea works better. Honestly, seriously. Nice, good, strong cup of tea, first thing in the morning, that'll give you a bit of energy. Vitamins, minerals, good diet, exercise, fresh air, yeah, all that kind of stuff is great, but essentially just picking flowers won't do it for you, sorry.
Always in a meditative state, producing auric reflections of love and joy.
Always in a meditative state. Now, for anyone who actually knows about what a meditative state is, it's a form of hypnosis, okay? It's a hypnotic state to a certain degree, and you've got to learn to control it, and also to move out of it so you're not permanently blissed out, so you can actually focus on real life. So whoever it is who's talking to this guy, who's treating this guy in this particular way, is basically fucking up in a big way. It's actually trying to convince people to be so distracted away from, like, survival that they're, you know, they're not going to be able to function properly. This is dangerous stuff.
Then you have that abundance. And
no, then you don't have abundance. Then you lose everything because you're not capable of focusing on things like paying your bills on time, looking after yourself, making sure that, you know, you're actually thinking about all the key issues you've got to deal with on a daily basis, for crying out loud sake. I mean, whoever is teaching you this stuff is doing it wrong and doing you a disservice. Alright, this is the kind of thing which I don't like, okay? I've been talking against it for a long period of time because this kind of reasoning does people harm.
You can bring that abundance into less abundant actions. That's called raising the system.
Raising the system. Raising the system. Which system? Your limbic system? You want to raise your limbic system? Why don't you just like chill out and like watch a sunset? That's good for your limbic system, okay? Your emotions and all the rest of that, you know. Yeah, chilling out meditation is okay, but it's not a raising of the system. What system? You're a complex human being. You're organic. You've got thousands of like interconnecting like cells and particles and organs and all the rest of that, and the whole thing has to be like healthy for you to be able to deal with like life and the rest of that, you know. Especially up here, mentally speaking, got to make sure you've got reasoning ability. You don't just raise the system, raise the system, raise the system. Oh my word.
Likes attracts like. I am joy.
Is that necessarily the case? Like attracts like? Alright? So why is it that the weak people often attract the bullies who then kick the fuck out of them, huh? Is that like attracting like? No, people who have similar interests and who broadcast it, let's say on the internet, will attract people who've got similar interests, yes, but just sitting there in your perpetual meditative state, which you've been talking about, just focusing in on your heart and nothing else, basically won't do that. You've got to, you know, have some reasoning and rationality about you. And if you think that, oh dear,
I am love. I put that out there, and what's going to attract to me? People who believe the same, feel the same, want the same.
So what he is saying is that just having a particular emotion, he has some influence of controlling the people who appear in his life. You know, this is like, oh, this is like ultimate mental power. You know, he's suggesting that, you know, he could go out to a bar in this like sweetness and love bubble, and he'll only attract sweetness and love bubbly people back to him. Now, has he actually put this to the test? Has there been some kind of like statistical analysis done upon this? I don't think so. You know, this is like false reasoning. This is a belief position, which is in fact a little too strong and not actually done with any like real reasoning whatsoever. This is like subtracting the individual away from thoughts. Whoever it is who's teaching this individual this stuff is doing them a disservice. Okay, you've got to think about how you interact with people properly. Now, when someone says, like, you know, you're doing something wrong, it doesn't mean to say that what you have to do is to go into the lotus position and focus in on universal love and everything will be okay. No, you've got to think about your behavior, you've got to think about your social skills, you've got to think about whether you're dressed properly and appropriately for the situation, okay? There's lots of little things which you need to work on, which is part of your social self-development, which makes you like a whole complete person who can function. Alright, it's not just a question of do the lotus position and everything will be done for you, yes. I mean, that's like these fundamentalist, socialist Christians who go about saying if you just preach the gospel, then God will house you, will feed you, will take care of you, you can go out in rags and everything will be wonderful because God will do it all for you. When basically personal experience of seeing people who've like done that, basically just, it does not compute, it does not correlate, it does not fit because it is incorrect. Alright, you're missing out on your survival here. I mean, we're only just a couple of, well, we're not all that far into the video, but like this is like, so many things are wrong with this.
Want joy, want love, want harmony, want equality, not based on a...
So essentially, you get equality not through joining, let's say, a civil rights movement type group or whatever, and fighting for it as part of a political group with a good PR system, reaching out, writing to senators, writing to MPs, getting the public behind you in like a massive tide of public opinion to provide, you know, equal rights for women, equal rights for blacks and Asians in a predominantly Caucasian society, rights for the indigenous American Indian people, rights for, let's say, the black people in South Africa. Alright? Did this happen through people going into a lotus position and filling themselves with sweet, fluffy emotions? Did it? Because if that's the case, then there must be some history books in this world which are actually incorrect.
Superficial capital system.
So what do you mean? A superficial capitalist system. Okay, the capitalist system essentially arose the moment that Homo sapiens came on the face of the planet. It's to do with the way in which we think. There's evidence of the very early Homo sapiens trading in terms of jewelry, in terms of axe heads, and all of these things. Because trade and commerce It's part of the way in which we've done things since the Stone Age. Alright, it's not the superficial, you know, capitalist society. Trade is the way in which we've done things since the dawn of humanity. I mean, this, and you got to understand it's part of our nature. This is just like, oh my word, what on earth is going on here? I'm gonna have a heart attack if I carry on, you know, listening to this stuff. I'm just gonna have to enjoy my smoking relapse and just get on with life.